is like a very high bar, but I do think it's a worthy one, and I think it's okay to have long-term goals, even if they're ambitious. I think sometimes the more ambitious goals have a higher chance of success because they just attract really talented people to them. So in our case, I think 3D printing for me is more of the industrial base. So I think initially it'll do things like spare parts and just make missions more likely to be successful, but I think that will grow into an industrial-based technology. If you look at what kind of factory is good for space, it's generally small, lightweight, and compact, so it can fit on a rocket, and you can launch it somewhere, and it can build a wide range of products with very little human labor and uncertain conditions. And so all of those checkboxes really describe an intelligent 3D printing system, and so that's why I'm very convinced that somebody has to be the one to build this if that future is going to exist. So we might as well try. We might as well be the first company to try. And then I do think one thing I'm very convinced of, and why go to Mars now, and why this is even a worthy goal. So I think for me, it's much less about an asteroid destroying Earth, and I think it's much more likely in 200 years or less we'll destroy ourselves before an asteroid will. So I don't think that's a particularly likely reason. I think it's much better to just think of it existentially. So we've been on Earth for thousands of years, living and dying generation to generation, and I think we just existed at the narrow slice of time where I don't know if it's 50 years, I don't know if it's 100 or 200, seems like a huge stretch, but at some point soon, robotics and AI will be so good that the incentive to send people, which makes spaceflight hard, it's food, water, shelter, boredom, will go so far down that you will just want to send robots for almost everything. And so I think, and that will only get worse over time. And so I think we live in the kind of small slice of technology where humans can actually go and can actually, this can be achieved. I certainly think it will be achieved with the help of AI, with the help of robotics. But I just think it's this narrow window where it's possible. And for me, it's just about expanding the possibilities of human experience. If we were sitting here at this event and there were 1 million people on another planet, I just think it would fundamentally change what it means to be a human being and give ourselves as a species a very clear North Star that would be inspiring. And I think that's worth dedicating your life to.
Yeah, that's an incredible North Star. Let's give Tim a round of applause. So as we wrap up with Tim, we're here at UCLA. Can I get all the students from UCLA to stand up, please? All the students who are here with us. I think we have a few. Yes. 3, 4, awesome.
All right, go Bruins.
Could I also ask the technology leaders from universities like Lucy at UCLA, we've got Dr. Vince here from UC San Diego. I think he drew the furthest today. UC Riverside as well, I believe, is here. Anyone else? But we have a higher education table. Please stand up as well. So, Tim, when we met at Relativity Space, I remember these words, but I asked you what this award means to you, getting the Executive Leadership Awards. And you said, quote, you hope that it will inspire the next generation of students and engineers to be ambitious, dream big, and set an example for others to follow. So what message do you have for all the UCLA students here today that just stood up and others who aren't here, and also everyone in administration and faculty that's hoping to achieve these goals of yours?
Yeah, sure. I think I often give practical advice. Actually, I'm in a little bit of a different mindset recently. I'm reflecting more on just starting this company at 25 and the personal journey it's taken to get here over the last 8 years. I think focus on self-awareness and just improving yourself, and I think reinventing yourself, being very curious, being curious about how your mind works, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. I think that's actually probably one of the most powerful skill sets that people that are younger can focus on. I think if anything, and I go back, like certainly we've achieved a lot. I think we've got a lot to achieve ahead of us. But I think the thing that I would credit for a lot of the success, and probably wish I did even more, was just spend more time focusing on myself, getting to know yourself more, and I think that's been really important. But I think maybe the second one is definitely the thing that's resulted in me feeling completely almost fearless, diving into a crazy company like 3D printing rockets and somehow coming out the other side with a 3D printed rocket that launched and worked. I think, I've long kind of realized this sort of, again, existential thing of one day you'll be 100 years old, maybe 120, maybe 140, whatever the number is, and that day will happen, to be clear. It will happen. Hopefully that day happens and not sooner, but that day will happen. And so if you kind of think about life on a longer time horizon, you realize you actually can't fail because, no matter what your beliefs are of what comes next, that day will happen and then you're gone. So from that perspective, you can't really fail. And if you actually really just take that to heart and understand what that means, I think it's quite optimistic and empowering to then go do something that actually matters and just don't be as scared.
Thank you, Tim, for that North Star. So. Well, let's do a quick picture with Tim, if you don't mind, and let's get Heidi to come up. And can I have Jim Rinaldi and also Davida join us as well? Do a quick picture.